Brilliant. Great. Well, welcome, Fionnuala,
Great, thanks, Rosie.
and welcome, ladies. I hope everybody's well. So we're just going to really have a small chat, isn't it? Just more so about how Fionnuala helped me with the whole perimenopause symptoms and the anxiety, the brain fog, everything that went with it. So, Fionnuala, I'm going to pass it over to you to introduce yourself.
Great. So I'm Dr. Fionnuala Vernon. I am a GP by trade. I am a mum of four kids. I am the clinical director in Blackwater Private Clinic in Armagh, Omagh, and soon to be Enniskillen. We're also online. And I'm a menopause specialist, so that is what I do all day, every day. And I'm very passionate about it, and I absolutely love it. So we got lots of questions from Rosie's followers, from our followers, and what we're hoping to do is kind of have a fairly casual chat just about um, perimenopause, menopause, body confidence, changes that we're all feeling, symptoms that we're all seeing, and yeah, it's just really nice safe space to kind of explore some of these challenges that we're all facing. So as a menopause specialist, a lot of our focus and energy are on women's hormones, and I always describe hormones to women as it's a little bit like putting petrol in your car, and we can become deficient in hormones quite quickly. That can be a thyroid hormone, and you have an underactive thyroid. For perimenopause and menopause, that's when you're starting to have fluctuating estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone levels, and they can have a profound effect on things like energy, hot flushes, night sweats, skin changes, weight gain. Then other hormones that we see are our cortisol, our fight, our flight hormones that we're all very familiar with. And insulin is another hormone, and that's responsible for diabetes and pre-diabetes. So hormones play a huge part in women's health in particular. Perimenopausal symptoms, I suppose, are probably one of those things that just creep on us. And there doesn't have to be a defining point in time. We used to think of women's health and perimenopause and menopause as a period of time where the period stopped, and then we started to think about treatments and things. And where we're at now, and we're in a lovely safe space. So many women, so many like-minded women coming together to kind of explore symptoms, and we're recognizing symptoms in women, in their, sometimes in their early or in their late 30s. If their mums have had an early menopause, then we tend to follow suit right through our 40s, and 50s and beyond. So, part of our role, as women, as mums, as sisters, as daughters, as even work colleagues, is recognizing these changes and helping support each other, directing people to get the right advice and support. And it's a fairly holistic approach. I mean, a good friend of ours, Geraldine McAleenan, she is a fantastic advocate for lifestyle and what we're eating and nutrition, and that can certainly go a long way to help what we're doing. Stress management, our mental health and well-being, our hormones, and then confidence building, what we're wearing, our makeups, our wardrobes, all of those things. It's a very holistic approach to care.
Yeah, it is all a package. It's
Yeah,
definitely all a package. But can I just go back to where you said about age too? Like I was only 42, so like I was like, this is definitely not
yeah,
perimenopause. I am far too young for this. Do you
yeah.
find it's getting younger, Fionnuala, like, or is it hereditary?
So the hereditary piece is, and this is exactly the same for lots of hormones. So for women that had really high blood pressure, in pregnancy, for example, that is a hormone trait that runs in families. So I would say to patients, did your mum have preeclampsia? Yes, she did, and therefore you've just a heightened awareness. So we kind of wear our genes on our sleeve as such. So, if your mum had an early menopause, and that could be kind of in her late 40s, very often what we see, especially in this country, is where women maybe have a late baby, and it was enough just to precipitate menopausal symptoms after that. We're seeing increasing numbers of women who have symptoms, and that is probably not because we're having an earlier perimenopause. It's just a transition period where we never really recognized it before. We just put it down to I'm busy, or I'm just burning the candle at both ends. So we are seeing more and more women with symptoms, but we're also recognizing it. And thankfully, we're in a really, really great space where women are recognizing this in the football camogie car parks, sitting in other mummies' cars, or we're seeing it at the workplace, or we're chatting online, we're seeing it online. So it's great. It's great that we're increasing the awareness. So there's probably an increased awareness, probably more so than people having a perimenopause earlier.
Yeah, it's definitely more openly talked, which is
Yeah,
brilliant. So,
brilliant. Yeah.
so I'm going to jump into a few questions that some of the
Yep.
followers sent in. So, Dr. Fionnuala, what's the biggest misconception ladies have about perimenopause?
The biggest misconception is probably that they don't have symptoms or they're not there. And I think that's part of the issue. Perimenopause can be so insidious, it can just creep in. Um, and yes, there is an argument that a lot of the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause mimic other things. So that's why we are doing blood tests in clinic with women. Even for women who are on treatment, we're looking at their blood results, we're looking at the changes and the transitions. So you could have an underactive thyroid can mimic menopause symptoms, depression can mimic menopause symptoms, but it's our job to tease out the symptoms. I love when I have women in clinic, we're going through their hormone journey. I'm always really interested in how women responded to contraceptive pills in their teens and early 20s, how they've responded to things like progesterone. We pick up a lot of women with symptoms of PMDD now, which is an absolutely life-changing condition where women's moods are particularly affected with progesterone in that third week of their period. So it's lovely to be able to help women and support women with that diagnosis, but very often they've had 30 years of complete misery before they get to the point where we're saying, hang on, you're
What's going on
sensitive to
here?
the hormone. Yeah, so it's tough.
The other thing, how do ladies know the difference between normal life stress and symptoms of perimenopause?
Very often they're very similar.
Because
You
life's
know,
so stressful for a lot of ladies.
so that's the difficulty. I suppose we're kind of at a stage when we're at the stage of having perimenopausal symptoms, we tend to be kind of at the peak or getting towards the peak of our careers. So we're super busy. We also have, for women who have kids or women who don't have kids that have nieces and nephews and extended families who have elderly parents. We all have people that we need to care for and look after, and that can be a huge, huge issue as well. We don't always have time. I mean, I certainly can't find a minute to kind of exercise and things. So we get a walk in where I can, like to watch what I eat, but it's not easy, and it's very, very difficult to try and tease out what's just crazy busy life and what has a hormone component to it. And again, I suppose it's my job to tease out the detail, and we look for specific symptoms. So some women might have hot flushes or night sweats. Some women might have burning feet or burning mouth, skin changes, weight gain, all of those things. But yeah, that's what we do. We tease out, we look at the blood results, and we help women kind of see where they're at and how we can
I
help
know
support
for
them.
me, the night sweat was a major thing. That was the
Yeah,
first. And then I'd say I would have called it the red mist nearly, where if somebody said something to me within seconds, I
yeah,
would have exploded.
yeah,
So
yeah,
for me, that was and another thing was the brain fog, because somebody'd be saying something to me and I'm like, this is not registering. This is not going in here.
yeah,
So, because I was with Geraldine one of the days and she was telling me, giving me direction on how to do weights, lifting something. And the more times she said it, the more I was staring at her blankly. And she was like, you definitely need to go and see Dr. Fionnuala. And she gave me the number and I went out after, and that's when I rang you. And you were like, right, get down here to me on Thursday. And I remember
no,
going into it and I was like, I know what's happening. It's falling my eyes out. I said, I just don't know what is happening to me. I'm a different person. I don't like who I am becoming.
no,
And that's where the bloods, as you said, straight away,
yeah,
bloods. And like within a few days, you were like, yes, definitely. You need this, 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 this.
yeah, I know. And that's the most distressing thing for women. We've we've been so fortunate to have met so many women from everywhere. And by far and away, the most distressing symptoms for women to cope with are the mood changes. So,
Yeah.
new anxiety that they never had before, rage and irritability, where they go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in a flash. The brain fog, your inability to process thoughts, it can be really difficult, and it can also manifest itself in relationships. So, you know, I'm in a very privileged position where women trust me with their health and trust me with, their insecurities and things. And sometimes women will say, I don't know if my partner will be there when I go home. I'm at that stage, and it's so, so awful. It's so difficult for them. Or, very often, of course, I'm always joining in these conversations saying, yeah, well, with kids, you say something and you think, did I actually say that out loud? Or you
Yeah.
spend the next couple of hours going, oh,
Then
God.
you feel so guilty and you're
Yeah,
trying to make it
and
up.
we all have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I often do work with with women in business, and I mean, and in the workplace, and I'm always saying, like, we need to cut ourselves a wee bit of slack. So if somebody has an absolute meltdown or have that brain fog, or these are things to look out for in the workplace, where women who were normally very confident lose their confidence. They won't speak at meetings, brain fog. I'm going to forget what I'm going to say, or nobody's had interest in what I have to say anyway. So, those are the most distressing symptoms that women describe, and those are the symptoms that we work our hardest to try and
Needle.
support and resolve. Yeah.
So yeah. So as I said, I know for me, brain fog was a big one. So why does this happen and what can ladies do about it?
So there's lots of things. So back to the point you made at the start.
Mm.
Sometimes, yeah, we're trying to do too much, but very often chemically, it's it's a drop in hormone. So in the perimenopausal phase, I describe the perimenopausal phase for women, and it can last anything from 7 to 10 years for some women. But it's just like a big washing machine of symptoms. So very often you don't know what Rosie's going to show up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, you could be great for weeks, and then you could have a period of 3 or 4 or 6 weeks where things are just on the dip. So I often show women the graph and kind of look at the big dip. And then you maybe get a bit of a peak again. So it's quite unpredictable. But half the battle for us is just recognizing it and saying, you know what, I think that's possibly me. So when we see women, and not everybody can take HRT, that's suppose an important point. It's not for everyone, but in particular, we see lots of women who are very testosterone deficient. So women will notice that they will have, lack of sex drive, difficulty building muscle mass, brain fog, that clarity, word finding, where people really struggle to get the word out. What do you call that thing that you pour tea into? It's got a handle, a
Oh yeah.
cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah, well, yeah, so that these are very real things.
Yeah, with it. So why are so many ladies waking up tired even after a full night's sleep? Well,
Because
that's
we're
probably I never get a full night's sleep anymore because the
Because we're
heat
doing the
is
work of an
unreal.
army every day. I know. Do you know part of the issue I think is we work extremely hard, and even for mummies that are at home and they're working, the kids are wee, or as I say, with elderly parents, we're trying to do jobs. We put lots of expectations on ourselves, so there are lots of reasons why we're tired, and part of the work that you do is to help women find their confidence, is get them back on their feet, is to kind of help them feel more like themselves. Part of it can be hormone imbalance, and that can be thyroid, that can be anemia, that can be lots of things. We do well woman MOTs and turn up lots of really interesting things. Hemochromatosis, there are so many reasons why women can be tired, particularly with hormones and things at this stage in life. There are lots of changes. But for any of us, whether we decide to go down the hormone route or not, it's nice sometimes to take a wee step back, take stock, have a look at the lifestyle, and say, look, are we doing too much? Are we putting too much pressure on ourselves? Do we have time? I mean, I don't do any self care. If Patrick Carroll is on this Zoom, she'll be saying, "What do you mean you don't like getting your hair done?" I love going, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
I hear
feel
you.
stuff. Yeah, I don't make that time. But it is important that we do take time to look after ourselves. That's why I loved, I'll share this with the girls. I treated myself to a voucher to see Rosie at Christmas, and I had an absolute ball. We did the colour analysis, we did the wardrobe waiting and moving house. I get rid of so much junk.
Yes,
That's
we were
what
ruthless with your
junk.
wardrobe, definitely. But
And
it was
left me with
easier.
stuff. Yeah, it left me with stuff. Like I left me with stuff that I forgot I had. So like, I mean, I laughed. I used to work in nursing homes, and I worked as a home help, and I worked in the call centre, and I worked in Coast and Debenhams, and I just acquired clothes from all these places, uniforms that I wouldn't need now. They were still there anyway. They got the road. Was it Christmas time we did that?
It was Christmas. Yeah, it was January or February. I think you
January,
bought
yeah.
yourself the voucher Christmas Day.
Oh, that's right.
Yourself
Christmas Day, you got
Christmas Day. I was like, who's buying vouchers Christmas Day?
me. I bought a voucher for me, I bought a voucher for my sister, and I just loved it. In actual fact, I actually didn't buy very much new stuff. I got some of those
No.
lovely. You sent me a couple of links, but I mean, and I don't know, maybe some of your followers are the same. I said to my sister, when we were kind of growing up, you'd have bought magazines, and I kind of followed the style. And then I was in, a friend of mine owns a beautiful shop in Dungannon, Charlotte and Tess, and Sarah Jane said to me, "You'd be lovely in that blazer." And she said, with a pair, do you remember this? Pair of barrel jeans. And I had to say, I have no idea what you're talking about. Barrel jeans. And I went to off and Googled them. And I thought, right, I need somebody like Rosie to say, this would be nice on you. These are in trend, So it was lovely. But I've actually have my wardrobe is like a tenth of the size, but
But it works harder for you than it ever did.
I'm delighted. I'm going to stop buying stuff in Shein. I'm very bold.
Yeah, no, no, the Shane has to go. But
Yeah.
back here, I have another question. This is a lot. This comes in a lot. This is probably one of the most common questions ladies have said to me. Why does weight seem to shift around the middle during perimenopause and it's so hard to lose?
It is really difficult. So our metabolism changes dramatically. So people talk about that middle age spread, and this is where we get the weight coming on. We will see an average of about 1.5 kilos per year during perimenopause. So at the end of your perimenopause journey, you'll have about 10 kilos on.
Wow, okay.
We get a shift in our metabolism, our estrogen levels drop, we gain visceral fat. So this is where it's gathering here that it never did before.
Yeah.
So very often women will say, if I was going to a wedding or something, I'll cut out bread for 4 or 6 weeks and I could get a half a stone off. It doesn't work like that anymore.
No, unfortunately it doesn't. No.
No,
I find that with ladies coming here to me, like their body shape has changed, either from losing weight or perimenopause,
yeah.
where they put weight on and they can't lose it.
No, and that's it. And as I say, that's part of that even that you did that with me. These are colours that suit you. These are
Yeah, the
shapes that
colours,
suit
especially
you.
up around the face.
Yeah, and I mean, as you say, you make your wardrobe work harder for you. That goes with that, and you can mix and match. And I find even shopping for bits and pieces is so much easier because I just know the colours to look for.
Yeah, well, you know, because you're a colour fan. I hope you have your colour fan with you the whole time, do
I'm wearing my colour
you?
fan.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be really impressed.
So next, I want to talk about vitamins and supplements.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend for ladies to look into?
Okay. For the majority of us all, if we eat well, and we don't need to spend massive amounts of money on food, if we're eating, like if we look back to even your granny's generation, and they ate really one meal a day, and they probably had very little meat, but a lot of stuff was homegrown. So getting your fruit and veg in there, your protein's really important at this stage. I know Geraldine's a massive advocate for protein, um, eggs and chicken and things like that. If you're not vegan, and for most of us, we should be getting all of our nutrients in our food.
What
That's ideal.
about vitamin D and all that? Would you?
Vitamin D, sadly, living in this part of the world, we don't get enough sunshine. So vitamin D is really important for bones. HRT can reduce our risk of osteoporosis. So for women who are taking hormones, then they should hopefully have a wee bit of bone protection. That said, I see so many women on HRT, but their levels are so low that they're not getting the bone protection benefits. They're not getting the protection for their heart, their brain, and they're not feeling any different. And very often for women, they're the patients that I can fix very quickly because they tick the box for being on HRT. They don't feel any different. They'll tell me, I don't feel like Davina McCall. Then we'll look at their bloods and they'll say, like, you're not absorbing it very well. And we've all been there. We've all seen a really nice foundation or a really nice tan on somebody and think, yeah, I'll go and buy that. And then it never looks the same on you. So HRT, the gel forms, the patches and things are exactly the same. What will work for you mightn't necessarily work for somebody else. So, it's not the exact science that a tablet is, but it's a much safer way of doing it.
And what about gut health? Because that's another thing we're hearing a lot about
Mm,
is gut health.
yeah. Sorry, I should have said magnesium's very good. Magnesium's very good for sleep. And we can, for women that decide not to go down the HRT route, they can use things like plant estrogens, which can help to alleviate some of the symptoms. Now, the plant estrogens don't have the same robust evidence for bone protection and heart protection and things like that. Um, Gut health is massively important. We're learning more and more about our gut microbiome. We're trying to reduce the amount of antibiotics we prescribe. We're trying to protect our gut. Leaky gut has massive implications for autoimmune disease and symptoms and things. So I suppose put simply, if we're eating well, we're eating our fresh fruit and veg, getting our fibre and our protein in, kombuchas and probiotics are good if you can get them in. There's no need to spend a fortune. That's really important. I love when women are so honest. And this is I love the crack when women come in for consultation, because very often when we get people who say, "Listen, I brought you all I'm taking. I'm going to have two rows of things," and it's sometimes quite refreshing. So I'm going to save you a fortune. We don't need these. But like you wardrobe waiting,
Yeah,
we don't
me,
need,
yeah, they're no good. They're not serving
prioritize
us.
these. And do you know what? It's a symptom of women who are really proactive and really want to look after themselves and want to do the best for themselves. Yeah, it's great. And I never knock it. So if women are on something that think like this really works for me, I'll say like let's keep going with it. But predominantly vitamin D, your gut health, your magnesium, they're really, really good things to have.
Great. And HRT. So for ladies that aren't on HRT, are afraid of HRT, or they just don't know where to start, can you talk us through, advise them, right? What's the first step? Which HRT does what and which is going to treat what?
Yeah. So the first thing we do for women is a risk assessment. So we will discuss the risks of HRT for each individual woman. So we see lots of patients. We see women who maybe on a breast cancer journey, and HRT for them might not be an option at all. For some women who are maybe 10 years on, depending on the type of cancer, they may be a candidate. But again, everybody's risk assessed. So we will look at your family history, we will look at your personal history, we'll look at your history with hormones in the past, we look at your blood results. If we're looking at a HRT regime and you're a candidate for it, HRT estrogen through the skin is the safest way of delivering estrogen. And that's in a patch, a gel, or a spray. Progesterone, you need progesterone if you have a womb. So progesterone is there, and that's in the form of a Mirena coil, which we put in the clinic, or the little tablets. You can also get vaginal preparations as well. For the majority of women that we see who are low risk, what we will do is we'll write a letter. We tend to write our letters in the clinic, so women are leaving with the letter in their hand for our GP colleagues, and we're able to reach out. And our GP colleagues are more than happy to support women. Very often, if they've been to us and we've taken the time to discuss the risks, and with their blood pressure and their weight and their blood results and things there, our GP colleagues are more than happy to support that. And we're very grateful to them for supporting women in that. So that takes care of your estrogen and your progesterone component. The only thing that's not fully licensed on the NHS or funded is testosterone. So we get a lot of women coming to us for testosterone. There's two different types. There's the female one. There is only one female testosterone worldwide. It's called androfen. Or there's the male testosterones. And we can make things work depending on what people's budgets are and things. We're very conscious of that. We will get something to work. Testosterone needs to be blood monitored, unlike estrogen. We blood monitor estrogen, but testosterone. So I describe it to patients, it's a little bit like a driving license. We'll do your bloods, we'll do a review at the start, then we'll repeat your bloods, and then we'll do another review. Then we can sign it off for a year. So if we're happy that the levels are nice and steady, we can see people once a year after that. So you don't need to keep coming back and back.
And if there was a lady in the south, the
Yep,
Republic, can she go and see you?
absolutely, yeah. So HRT is free in the south. And yes, we see lots and lots of women who travel a great distance. to the clinic, or they can pop online. I'm also dual registered, so I'm registered north and south.
Okay.
So those women can get their HRT in the south. And again, it's exactly the same thing. Our GP colleagues in the south are happy to take the recommendation from a menopause specialist. Very often they'll say, oh great, she's thought of it all. Happy days.
You've done the work.
And that's the other really important thing. I mean, we are prescribing medications very much within license, very much within licensed doses. We're not needing to exceed the speed limit. We're not needing to, try weird and wonderful things. The treatments that we provide are evidence-based and they're safe.
Great. I'm trying to think if I anything else I want to ask you about. No, I'm a different person since I started it. I wouldn't go without it. If I'm in a bad mood, Charlie, the wee fella, he'd normally say, "Did you take your gel, mommy? Do you need your gel?" So like the whole house knows I'm on HRT. Everybody knows. So I definitely couldn't go without it. It was the best thing that I done. So I
Yeah.
stay on this now, Fionnuala, for forever,
As
basically.
long as Charlie wants a normal mummy. Yeah. So, I mean, again, medicine is evolving, and part of the issue we've always had as women's health has been so poorly funded. So we like evidence, we're scientists, so we like numbers. And what we used to do is have women on HRT for 5 years and then take it away, and then, but now the evidence is changing. So that provided that women are in a safe space and there's still low risk, and we're constantly risk assessing, then there's no reason why you couldn't continue on it long term.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there was one thing you'd like every lady listening tonight to know about perimenopause, what would it be?
The big thing for me are the mood changes. The most distressing thing that I see are women who have fallen out with sisters or mums, or feel that they can't go back into the workplace. I see so many women like that who have had a massive relationship breakdown, particularly when sisters or siblings are of a similar age. And we see, and that's tough. So if any of your if any of your followers or any of the ladies on here feel that they've ever been in that position, just to be mindful of it. Or if there's somebody in work and you can see them struggling, don't be afraid to reach out, or, even if you can't find the words, even, link the Zoom, or, Dr. Louise Newson's a huge advocate for women's health. I think the mental health component to perimenopause is probably the most distressing, and it's where women need support most, not isolation, and not to be kind of misunderstood. So we can all have an off day,
Yeah,
but
we're all allowed an off day. But
yeah.
I see there's some questions in here, Fionnuala. I just
Mhm.
want to see what we have. So, a lady, it is hard to get a reading from bloods as to change from morning to night.
Yeah. So it depends what we're looking for. So sometimes, so with the estrogen levels, for example, they fluctuate, as I mentioned earlier on. So they're up and down. So you can find a peak, you can find a trough. When we're looking at blood tests, we're looking at an FSH, and that gives us a marker of how hard your ovaries are working in order to get a small amount of estrogen. We also use, so you don't need blood tests in order to make a diagnosis. That's really important. We need to know if women have a premature menopause, and it's really important to identify those women. So under 45, it's really important. Testosterone's different, and testosterone has to be blood monitored in order to meet the criteria to be on it and to stay on it. And testosterone, unlike estrogen and progesterone that fluctuate like that, testosterone tends to be fairly linear. So you'll get it, say it, I'm trying to see what direction going. It'll be here in your 20s, here in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. It's not fluctuating. But it's a combination. When we're doing hormone profiles, there's probably about 8 or 10 markers that we're looking at, not one or two in isolation.
Okay, great. Ladies, have any questions?
There's if Lula has a wee question there. So many visitors required. Okay, so it just depends. So sometimes if women don't need testosterone, they're only coming for a review of their medication and things, they can come the once, and they're welcome to do that. And for women who are starting on testosterone, the license is such at the moment that you need to have your blood test done and a review or an appointment, and then they have to be repeated again at 3 months to make sure you don't overshoot the runway, and that's the nice guidelines. After that, we'll see women once a year. Um, and that's for women who are on testosterone, but you come as a one-off if you didn't need testosterone. Because probably most GPs won't prescribe testosterone, then we have to monitor patients, and then when we prescribe it, we have to, I suppose, take the risk and things, so I have to sign it off. That's the legislation. But yeah, you don't need to come back. Some women do. So some women who are struggling and they're still not quite getting to where they need to be might come. We have things like interim reviews. So women need a wee quick, consultation virtually or something in the meantime, they can do that. But you don't have to come like regularly or anything.
Great. Michelle has a question.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of our breast cancer patients, it depends again, patients are risk assessed. So we look at people who have maybe had an estrogen positive cancer, whether they're BRCA positive or negative. And so for women who have a breast cancer who perhaps are not candidates for HRT, we will then take a look at the symptom management. So there are medications, there are new medications that are coming every day in that space. Vioza is a medication that we would use particularly for hot flushes and night sweats. There are some antidepressants that we use, not for depression, but for hot flush management. We can also use topical and vaginal HRT for women who have breast cancer but lots of vaginal symptoms. So it does depend on the symptoms that women have. As to which treatment we might use in order to offset that. Sometimes it could be 2 or 3, but treatment plans are very individual to each person, so your regime might look different from someone else's.
Yeah, everyone's different.
Mm.
Great. Um, but ladies, if you have any questions afterwards, just drop me a message. It's no problem. I'll forward it on to Fionnuala and she will gladly answer. Um, I hope we haven't missed any important questions, have we? Fionnuala, is there anything I haven't asked that I should have asked?
No, no. Tell the ladies about your
Oh, about me, I'm all about
yeah.
hormones here. My HRT is what I'm like, we need to talk about HRT.
Yeah, but tell people about how you help support women, because it's
Yeah,
not
so what I
all about
had,
hormones, especially like even Michelle mentioned there about breast cancer. For women like that, it's very demoralizing, I imagine. And lots of breast cancer patients tell me it's like, HRT seems to be the be all and end all, and I can't have it, and that's very distressing. A lot of women tell me that. So there's lots of other things we can do.
totally. Well, as ladies, you might know, I do color analysis, body shape analysis, and makeup. Most of my clients are 35 plus ladies who have lost themselves along the way. So I help them find themselves again and rebuild their confidence. Again, it's a lot to do with color. A lot of ladies are making themselves look sick, dull, and tired with the colors that they're wearing up around their face. The same with their makeup. They're wearing the wrong undertone. They could be a warm, but they're wearing a cool. So they're going against their natural undertone straight away. The new body shape, as I said, they've either lost weight or gained weight. And I help them dress for the body shape that they have now. This is to flatter their new shape, to build their confidence that way. It's all about how the the confidence comes through when you feel good. I've ladies that's gone back into the career. They've been at home with their children rearing them. They don't know anymore, what do I wear? How do I wear it? How do I present myself? So I do a lot with that. And also I love the wardrobe edit and restyle. That's where I really get into it. So go to your wardrobe after your colour and body shape analysis. Now be prepared. I normally come with like 2 rolls of black bags, even though ladies say you're not throwing anything out. I'd be like, out, it's not serving you anymore. Like that's too big, or it's not highlighting your new shape, wrong colour. So the wardrobe edit and then just restyle, start building a wardrobe. They get a colour fan with all the wow colours. I call them the wow colours. So these are the colours that's going to light them up, and start building your wardrobe up with these colours. Because if you're having a crap day, wear the colour up around your face. And with scarves, your tops. This is all about round your face. Even your jewellery, the frames of your glasses, they're a massive thing in the colour. You're instantly going to make an appearance in the right colours. Look healthier, fresher, your eyes are going to be brighter. I could talk all day about it. I absolutely love what I do and the confidence it brings back to ladies. Then with the shopping bit, I send the links. I'd be looking, you could have a wedding on, you could have communion confirmation, send you off the links in your colours, and I know your body shape, so I know what's going to suit you. I'm very lucky. I love what I do. And I love to see the confidence coming back into ladies and they deserve to glow. Like we're all juggling so many balls at once that we forget about ourselves and we are the foundations of the home. So I think if we're not right, the whole house isn't right. So it's the same with the hormones. If it's not right, the whole house isn't right. And the same with your wardrobe and your colours. Um, but yeah, better outfit choice, less wardrobe stress, more confidence, easier shopping, and getting more compliments. So that's
It
what
is.
I
It's
do.
definitely. Do you know what it is? It's definitely easier to know what to wear. Like you kind of we weighted the wardrobe, and we all have really nice things in our wardrobe, and they don't need to be expensive, but they're really nice things that suit us. That I could see the wood for the trees. And then I think then the links I got, I bought myself, I buy two pairs of barrel jeans and Marks and Spencers. Like it wasn't dear, and I bought
No,
myself a nice t-shirt and a belt.
but it's all about showing you how to
I
wear
wore
them.
shoes on Sheen. I didn't tell you that, but I've told you
Oh,
now.
right, no.
You're on Zoom, so you can't reach me. I'm all right.
No, I can't really. But it's all
You know,
about accessories too.
yeah,
It can
yeah,
be so simply done. It really
yeah,
can. Ladies, they don't need to spend a fortune. I say shop your own wardrobe first. Always shop. You don't need to be, right, I'm going out next weekend. You don't need to be going buying a new outfit the whole time. Rewear your wardrobe and make it work smarter and harder for you in your colours.
yeah.
Yeah, so that and the makeup's another thing, Fionnuala. It's a game changer. Like
Oh,
I know
I
you
loved
done your
it.
makeup for your own photo shoot
Yeah, well,
because
I'm
you
going
were
to tell
that
the girls,
confident.
like, I mean, you said to me, can you show me your makeup brushes? And did I produce one brush? One
Yeah,
eyeshadow
very good.
brush? You know,
Yeah,
like, I mean, I used my fingers before I met you, so.
yeah, no. But saying that, I didn't ask you to buy 20 new brushes.
No,
No, I
no,
think I
they're
got
very
like
easy.
six that's
I
double
meant to say,
sided.
actually, I think our girls have made an absolute fortune selling my stuff on Vinted. It's like
Oh,
their new
brilliant.
hobby. I have four kids, and the eldest, the girls are 15 and 13. And out of those bags that I thought were dumped, they're just selling the stuff on. I am amazed at what people would
Goodbye.
buy. Stuff's
Yeah.
like new look stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I'll pay £4 for that."
Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
as I say, if you're going to sell it on Vinted, like price it to sell because
yeah,
you
to
want
get
rid
rid
of
of
it.
it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
not going to make money on Vinted,
no.
but price it to sell. But back to the makeup. We don't need a massive overflowing bag of makeup. You need about 6 or 7 products that's in your colours and your undertone. And I'm all about blusher. Instantly, it's a confidence booster, and so is the lipstick. But it's getting the right. Like you were wearing pink, really bright
I
pink.
had all like pink, yeah, yeah. And I might. Oh, I'm actually wearing pink tonight. I'm gonna get scolded. No, but my tones were like a corally color, like a peach.
Yeah, you're like for your blusher was definitely more the
Yeah,
more corals
yeah.
and peachy coloured blend.
Yeah. No, I got all the products, and I mean, as you said, they weren't dear, and
Yeah,
they're
totally.
and
No,
I now know how to use them and apply them properly.
yeah, no, but that's what I do, ladies. So I help build the confidence. But it is, as I say, it's always a work in progress as well. You're not going to change the first day you come to see me, but I will be gently guiding you and nudging you out of that comfort zone. These leggings and fleeces, I'd be like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doing? And the wardrobe's wedged with stuff upstairs.
I know. We probably all kind of get into that habit over COVID, really, didn't we?
Yeah, that was 6 years ago, so we're over it.
Okay, I'm over it.
But
You know, as soon as I get off the Zoom, that I am going home to get into a pair of leggings and a fleece, just to
yeah, well,
say.
like you're going home, nobody's going to see you. Yeah, so you're allowed.
I'm not
But
going out.
what else? No, that I think I've covered all that I do,
Yeah,
and
there
I
were
think
certainly lots of the questions. I suppose that's in summary when we're looking at women of our age in the kind of perimenopause and menopause phase. It's just important, I suppose, to have a global view. So we've got the health view and the treatment options that are available. We've also got the psychological view where we're all going to have a wee bit more awareness for ourselves. We're going to have a wee bit more awareness for the people around us to support them. our lifestyle, our nutrition, and then building our confidence with what you do, Rosie, and just trying to help people navigate a difficult space, a
Yes,
vulnerable
totally.
space. Lots of really vulnerable women there, and and it's important that you kind of find somewhere that
It's getting support. And it's not like, don't be afraid to reach out for support. I said, ladies, don't be on your own. There's always help. Just ask for help. There's always help.
yeah.
There's a lady there. Did you say Dr. Fionnuala has a skin clinic? So you've one coming in.
Yes. So I do a lot of aesthetics, and funny, that's kind of how the menopause and the skin clinic kind of complement each other, because very often people will say either, can you make me feel 15 years younger or make me look 15 years younger? So do you know what? As I say, it is a lovely safe space. So we have a skin clinic. So our skin clinic is busy. So we've Blackwater Private Clinic, which is where our menopause and our women's health clinic sits. And then we've got Blackwater Skin Clinic. So it's going to be in Armagh, Omagh, and in Enniskillen. The other question I'm often asked actually is about weight loss medications and GLP-1s, and you see a lot of women
Yes.
on this journey too, where maybe lose a lot of weight taking medications like that, can go onto the face, and they have different issues and things. But I remember somebody telling me one stage, over 40, you have to choose your bum or your face.
Oh,
So
right.
there you go.
There you go.
Choose my
Yeah.
face. But
But
yeah,
your clinic is in opening in Enniskillen.
yeah, we're in Enniskillen now at the end of June.
But you still
So
do. You do the skin from Armagh also.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Great.
I'm I'm not I'm not I think I'm too old school for a lot of social media, so this works well. So we probably don't promote all the things that we do as effectively as we should, but yeah, we do a lot of skin here.
Great. Well, all I can say is I'm very grateful for you, and I'm sure my whole family are grateful that I
That
came
that
across
poor
you.
child is particularly grateful. Not at all. Do you know what? It's just for us kind of looking out for each other and supporting each other and finding a safe space and kind of even joining a group, whether it's a choir or a mum's
Yes,
fitness group or whatever, just find a safe space to kind of support and nurture each other and point people in the right direction.
that's the main thing.
Listen,
Well,
thanks
here.
so much, everybody, for joining us this evening. It's so good to see so many people on, and I know lots of people have asked for the recording. They're out and about, so
Yes, so we'll get
hopefully they'll
that.
get something meaningful from that.
Brilliant. Well, Fionnuala, thank you so much
Not
for
at
your
all.
time. And
Thank you
thanks
so
to
much.
everybody for joining us.
Oh, thank you. They're lovely comments. Thanks so much.
Great. All the
I'm
best.
really
Night night,
excited to
ladies.
do Valentine's Day's work. I'm sure it's like everybody else.
Go and get a wash on now.
My leggings and my fleece in a wash. Listen,
Good
thanks so
night,
much
ladies.
again. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. All the best. Bye.